Again, my name's Erin, and I run the Wholeness Wisdom podcast. I also do one-on-one sessions with people to help integrate the sense of separateness into the sense of being complete and whole. So I just want to kind of briefly share something about the all inclusiveness of the sense of self-realization, that it's not something that we do on the weekends or something that is a hobby or something that we're just kind of pursuing. This really unfolds on its own once a person reaches a certain level of maturity in their spirit, we could say. So the good news is, once we have a little bit of interest in finding out who we really are, that starts to kind of pervade the nervous system in a way that we feel like we really can't settle for less. So I had this experience when I was at a workplace where I started to get this kind of, I could say, kind of an existential itch, which I had known since I was pretty young, probably a teenager. But it really started to bother me that I felt like a tool for this corporate situation. And it started to really bother me that I was being expected to act like not a sensitive being. And everybody around me seemed to think this was totally normal. And it didn't feel totally normal. So I had to eventually eject myself from that system, which led to feeling a little bit uncomfortable, like, where's my security going to come from? But at the same time, there was this feeling like I can't pretend any longer. And I think a lot of people reach that point in their relationships or in their friendships or in their families where the norm that other people are subscribing to just doesn't feel right. And we can't continue to pretend that it does feel right. I would say that we are stepping more into alignment with our path of maturity at that stage. And it can feel really confusing because people around us may just kind of act like this is business as usual. And when it comes to our own maturation in life, business as usual isn't enough. And we just can't settle for that anymore. It's just not enough to feel fulfilled. And for those of us who come to that point, the good news is that we don't need to really worry about doing it on our own because something has cracked open. It's like the seed that has felt enough moisture and felt the right kind of temperature that it has ripped open and something is going to grow. And once that hull has ripped open, it's really growing itself. And we're really opening up to new levels of maturity without needing to consciously do it. And another thing that I started here talking about is that it's not a pastime, it's not a hobby. Our own maturation or individuation or coming to know our full self, like a full self-realization, it can't be partially done. You can't be partly pregnant, right? You can't be partly dead. It's it's either yes, we're on this path, or not interested. There's no halfway interested in self-realization. It might seem like that on the surface, like I'm kind of curious, but there's something that's happening despite the mind that is already cracked open. So this is meant to be a message of hope that if you're a little bit interested, your system in this environment, it is more than a little bit interested. It is going to be happening despite you. And the last thing I want to say is that when that starts to happen, it's really common for people, really definitely happened for me, to start noticing that the relationships that we used to have are not enough, that they're not actually feeding that purpose at all. They're actually kind of stunting it. And it's really normal to start to recognize, well, with certain people, we just don't really feel good. We don't feel like resonating or vibrating at the same wavelength. And that's kind of a woo way to say it, but we could just feel like something's off. And when we leave those interactions, we don't feel better. And this might happen with certain types of food that we eat, going to certain kinds of restaurants. It happened with me with certain types of cuisine. All of a sudden, it wasn't like I felt sick, I just didn't feel good. And it happened with certain types of music, it happened with certain types of entertainment, so that not because I couldn't anymore, it was more of a sense of I didn't want to anymore. So a lot of these things in my life, environmental factors and social factors, I started to kind of unsubscribe from, because it was clear that it wasn't helping my alignment in getting to really know and live as myself fully. So all of this is meant to say it's weird. It is just weird when we get on this path to really find out who we are and like, what is my real self like in this world? And can I really be that? Can I really live that way? It's just awkward because we've been taught to kind of conform into these different boxes. And when we start to split the box, it's like, what's out there? Is that for me? The good news is it is, and it feels really good to get there. So I would love for you to join me. And if you're a little bit interested, I have this course that is about to come out in January. It is a course involving other people to support this process, and it's largely self-study. So we'll meet a couple times a month on Zoom. You'll also have one-on-one support from me, and there'll be an ongoing group where you can kind of connect to people who are interested in self-realization, and mostly just get all of these tools to really dive into what self-realization looks like, the process, and how to ask certain questions to yourself, and hear certain guided meditations to really get to the core of being, really intimately touch that sense of who I really am, and be able to kind of expand into your own life, standing in that power, standing in your real self. It's totally worth it, and I would love to see you there. If you enroll now, you can save $200. Early enrollment is only open for another couple weeks, so you can find more about that on wholenesswisdom.com/enroll. That is also in the video description. I'm so glad to be here with you, and I would love to hear anything you have to say in the comments. Also, if you're interested in this topic, please subscribe. I would love this message to reach more people, and I'm just happy to be here on the path with you. So have a great day and have a great weekend. Bye.